Brilliant. Okay, brilliant. So finally, after technological difficulties, to quote the great Bruce Buffer, we are live. This is just obviously gone out to our past students because you are someone that I would have spoken about pretty much on every single course we've ever done. Eoin will probably tell you a little bit about himself in a second, but without making him blush and go the same colour as his t-shirt, would be one of my mentors. He's someone that I look up to hugely in the industry. Extremely knowledgeable, fucking sound guy as well. So, Eoin, if you just tell the students who maybe, well, they know of you, but probably not how extensive your background is, if you can just let them know a little bit about yourself.
Okay, as I got my haircut today, I'm looking sharp for you, John. The barber lives beside me, so I had my mask on. He had a screen on. It's the first time I had my haircut in months, and he said to me, "What do you do for a living?" I was like, "Oh, what do I say I do for a living?" So I started this job off in 1996, working as a fitness instructor. So I've done my fair share of classes. I've also worked as a gym manager for Total Fitness in Westwood for many years. Then I went on to work for Life Fitness. Then I went back to college to study physical therapy. Did that for a number of years. Then, as you know, I started to work with Charles Poliquin. I traveled the world teaching with him for about 9 years maybe. And during that time, I set up the Irish Strength Institute with John Connor and Stephen Ward. So we've been looking after athletes and clients and PT and group training and nutrition and all sorts of stuff. So I actually don't, thanks very much for the kind words, John, but I don't consider myself an expert in this industry at all. I find you get better at this job the longer you're in it, if you're proactive about your education and looking after people and you learn from your mistakes. I think if people don't learn from the mistakes, that's a sign of someone that's not looking to get better. So if you're looking to learn what not to do, I can definitely tell you what not to do. I've made many mistakes. So
all the mistakes.
Hopefully the guys, your past students, and say again?
I was saying all the mistakes.
All the mistakes, yeah. So hopefully your past students can get some insights into what they can do moving forward. And there's a famous saying, you stand on the shoulder of the giants. By all means, don't stand on anybody, but learn from their mistakes and see what different avenues you can go down to be more successful in the industry than people in the past, and learn from their mistakes. Because as we see now, particularly now, the evolution of the industry and the flexibility of your business needs to be paramount.
Well, that's perfect, I suppose, segue, because one of the first things that we got in from one of the students was, like, obviously there's never been a time like this. It's a bit mad. But as someone who's been in the industry, like you said, since 1996, you've been around, you've seen it all. What are the sort of challenges that you'd say are facing the new guys? Because obviously our students have graduated. Some of them have graduated a couple of months, some have graduated a couple of years. Like, are there any challenges sort of facing them going forwards, or things that we have to adapt to?
Yeah, like one of the things I was chatting to Stephen recently. So the report was done by a company called Deloitte, and what they did was in 2007, 2008, they did research on the amount of people in Ireland that are members of gyms. So I'm assuming most of your clients are past people are Irish. Is that right? Yeah. So in Ireland, we have the lowest amount of capita that are people members of commercial gyms in the whole of Europe, which I thought was very unusual. This is 2017, 2018. But we've more people in Ireland, members of smaller bespoke gyms than anywhere else in Europe, which means the likes of Ben Dunn and Flyfit and Westwood and all these are Crunch. People prefer to go to smaller gyms, prefer to go to the gym down the road that has John in there and Adam in there, or Robbie in there, that can actually make a more bespoke experience, more of a community. So I see huge opportunities for fitness people, huge. Like, I don't know about you, John, but I see neighbours and friends and colleagues and family members participating in exercise who would have never even fathomed going out for a walk or a cycle in the past. And now I think people realise, like, mental health is a big concern, particularly in Ireland. And I think people now realise the impact exercise has on their mental health, their well-being, their interaction, how well they get on with friends, how their immune system, how resilient they are to stress in normal life. So now as fitness professionals, hopefully fitness professionals, we can instruct, support and train people that may not necessarily want to come to your class, may only want to come and see you once a month for body composition or nutrition, or maybe some home recommendations for workouts at home. But I see it as a hugely opportunistic situation, not to benefit from ourselves, but to help more people and diversify your business. So I was chatting to Luke in the gym before reality. Now the situation where you need to sit back, right, and see what people that you're looking to train. We call it, in marketing, they call it avatar. Who's your avatar or your buyer persona? What age are they? What are their challenges? Are they working from home? Are they traveling to work? Are they going to be exercising home? Can they come to your class? Are they personal training clients? Are they semi-private training? Are they spinning enthusiasts? Whatever it is. And then what we need to do as professionals, see how we can help them and build our business model to solve problems, you know?
Yeah, so perfect. Did you get roped into doing those 5Ks when everyone was on that bus?
There's a funny story about that, John. I'm going to share it with you because I like you. So I bought this trainer mask. Have you seen them?
I have. Oh, geez, we got those years ago, the big Darth Vader looking ones.
Yeah, Darth Vader was Bane out of Batman, right? So I bought one a while ago. I do a lot of different mouth taping, particularly. Well, my wife doesn't do enough as she should do.
If you're doing the mouth tape, will you just explain why? Because I know, like, I don't want people going, that lad is fucking kinky and mad into all sorts of mad shit, but might be true. Yeah, it's just steered off. We were never going to keep it on track. So, what's the mouth taping briefly?
What mouth taping will do is that you don't use duct tape. I repeat, do not use duct tape. So you use a small little what's called 3M micropore tape and you place it over your lips. Now, you don't necessarily need to tape, but I tape them out at night time for sleep to increase nasal breathing. We should be breathing through our nose. This is for our mouth. This is how we eat food. This is how we breathe. So too many people are mouth breathers, and you don't get the same oxygenation from every breath that you breathe through the mouth. So by training with your mouth closed, you actually put quite a bigger stress on your cardiovascular system in relation to the intake of oxygen and the saturation of the bloodstream. So what a training mask will do is it will restrict the flow of blood coming into your nose and mouth. But I do it with my mouth closed. So one of my gobshite friends challenged me to do a 5K run. So anyway, I get outside, I put this mask on, I make sure my mouth is taped, I'm only breathing through my nose, and I restrict the flow of oxygen, and off I go, I'm listening to my music, and I'm getting some funky looks. And the reason being, you can quite hear the noise going in and out of the mask. Yeah. But everyone's wearing masks, there's no problem. So I run down the seafront, I'm all along Clontarf, and I know where the 2K is, so I was keeping in the distance, sort of like a block around my house. And I come back around, and I'm like going, man, this is, and I check my phone and my Polar app to check my heart rate. I'm going, how was that only 3.7? How was that only 3.7? So I said, feck it, I'll run back up around Artane, I'll come back around my mom's house and come down. And I'm going by my friend's house, and he's there. What are you doing, you nutcase, running with this big mask on you? So I take it off and I'm sweating all over the place. He says, oh, show me on. I said, I showed him, it was 5.7 miles I ran.
You didn't change it.
You absolute numpty. So, so I did 5.7 miles with a training mask on with my mouth taped.
That's fucking serious going.
Oh, yeah, it is, yeah. Particularly when you're running from the seafront in Clontarf all the way up to the roundabout, Artane roundabout. It's pretty bit of a neat. And I only weigh maybe 50 kilos, John. So I'm designed for running.
On your left side.
Yeah. Yeah, my right side of the
body. That's going to dispel a lot of the potential criticism from some of the ISI staff. Now, I'm not going to name names like Adam or Luke or Robbie or even John or Stephen, but like they would have probably said, "Oh, Lacey doesn't have tremendous cardio." That's just dispelling that rumor.
So you broke up there. I wasn't able to do cardio.
Yeah, lads were slagging you saying you don't have any cardio, but I was like, no, he's a machine.
I have the cardio, no problem. You know, I've been out cycling. This is the thing, John, and I laugh because back in the day when you were in the gym, you would teach maybe 2 or 3 classes a day, all day, every day. Every day, like you do a class. So running, I told the barber that I ran a marathon once. I was going out with a girl that wanted to run a marathon, so we said, right, we'll do a 30K just to see what sort of distance we can do. So you do silly things for love, that's for sure. I don't particularly enjoy doing long, steady state cardio, but I do a lot of interval training, and I enjoy that, and I enjoy short runs and short cycles. But I'm not going out for 2 hours on a bike in the weekend. I can find nothing more boring than that. But I appreciate that people enjoy that to clear their headspace, you know.
Absolutely. Now, again, if I'm segueing here madly on questions, I know that a lot of these. See, the problem is I've done nearly every course or bits and pieces that you've done. So I've heard you talk on certain topics for weekends, right? So when I'm going to you, can you talk about sleep? And like, I know you're kind of under a bit of pressure to be concise with it, but there was a lot of questions coming in on sleep, and it's something you've talked about extensively, but in terms of the students who want to know, is there any strategies that they could give to their clients to help optimize sleep? I know you have so many protocols to improve this, but I suppose if you want to if there was something like 2-3 things that they should be looking out for or could be done.
Yeah. So first things first. This question comes up a lot from a lot of trainers, and if I was to ask you, John, or any of the listeners watching this, what's the first recommendation that they give when it comes to sleep? And they all say the same thing: get off the phone, dim the lights, do some meditation, take magnesium, get off your phone, don't watch television. And my answer to that is bullshit, 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 because it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. And what happens is you have a hormonal cycle. In the morning, you should have high cortisol. And as the day goes on, your cortisol goes down. Then in the morning, you should have what's called a low sleep drive. It's called process S. You should have a low sleep drive. And as the day goes on, you get more tired. So high cortisol, low cortisol at night time. High sleep drive in the morning, high sleep drive at night time. Just voice that pause there quick. What happens is, so the majority of people are tired at night time, but their cortisol should be here, and it's here. So trying to fix all the situation here is not going to work. You need to start in the morning. So in order to get your circadian clock system, so your circadian clock system is the control of your clock. Your cellular function has a start up and a slow down. And if you're not sleeping at nighttime, it's because your internal clocks, you have what's called central clocks and peripheral clocks. Your liver has a clock, your brain has a clock, your muscles have clocks. So by syncing all your circadian clocks together, you'll induce wake up hormones in the morning and low sleep drive, and then the opposite at nighttime. And that's what we're looking for. So in order to get your sleep sorted, what's called the Zeitgebers. I wish I made these words up, but a Zeitgeber is an exterior influence on your internal clocks. So light is a great Zeitgeber. Exercise is a great Zeitgeber. And eating is a great Zeitgeber. So in the morning, if you can get light exposure above 2000 lux, you can get some movement first thing in the morning, and you can get some food first thing in the morning. It sort of gets the engine and the metabolism up and going and ready for nighttime. Unfortunately, a lot of people recommending intermittent fasting, and clients that already have problems with their sleep are not eating in the morning, thereby not getting their metabolism going, and they eat majority of food at nighttime, which obviously interferes with the sleep. Brilliant. And then the last thing there when it comes to sleep is, like if I ask you, John, have you ever done a special diet, ever trained on a decent program? And you say yes, most people have. But how long do you do a program for before you realize whether it was worthwhile or not? Maybe 2-3 weeks? But people do one night of not looking at their phone and go, that didn't work. It doesn't happen like that. You need at least 10 to 14 days of a continuous sleep regimen in order to get the resetting of your circadian clock. We went off to Canada for a seminar. It would take us a few days to get over the jet lag, but then we're coming back again. So people think they can just do a few things for a week or so. It's not. Sleep hygiene, follow your routine, and I stress people out there, nutrition training can have a big improvement in 2 weeks, but if you address your sleep, if it's a problem, and you will see unfound improvement in your health, well-being, digestion, skin, mental health, cognition, mood, anxiety, libido, everything will improve. If it's a roadblock and it's a problem, it will undermine everything you do. Address it first, and then work on exercise, and then work on nutrition.
Brilliant. And then this one's just a little bit selfish. I heard you speak about it before. Do you know the glymphatic system? You'll just speak briefly on that one. It was just, I thought that was something. I only heard you say it. I've heard you say it before. I heard you say it again recently, but then it was something that's interesting.
So at night time, what happens is you have what's called your lymphatic system, and your lymphatic system is the sanitation system of the body. It sort of clears out all the debris, and it transports fats and so on. In your brain, around your brain, you have what's called the glymphatic system. And at night time, the neurons in your brain shrink by up to 40%. And what happens is the cerebrospinal fluid can go around the brain, and it can get rid of beta amyloid plaque, and it can get rid of any waste products. So what happens is your brain slightly shrinks at night time, and it's like a massage. You have this massage your brain, you get rid of all the debris, you shampoo your brain, and you're ready to go the next day. The problem is intermittent sleep. It's broken all the time. They're not sleeping long enough, and they're waking up not recharged. So one of the things I say to people is the most important alarm clock to set is the one to go to bed. forced to wake up with an alarm clock, your body is reacting. And one thing that the body doesn't like to do, you imagine like you have millions, billions of cells in your body, trillions of cells in your body, and those cells need to know what they need to do all the time. They don't work well in reacting to something. They never work well in reacting. So if you have a routine or a regimen of proper sleep, proper exercise, nutrition, and so on, the cells know before food comes in, I'm getting ready for food to come in. They know, actually, he's going to wake up now in a few minutes. I'm going to get ready to wake up. I like to think of it like a marathon race, like a 100-meter sprint or a marathon race. Everyone's on the line, ready to go. 3, 2, 1, go. You go. The whistle blows, you go. If you're lying in bed and all of a sudden the alarm goes off, first thing in the morning, all your cells are like, what? It's time to get up. And then they're reacting for the whole day. And one of the biggest things there is inside your pancreas. Your pancreas stores and makes insulin. So you have what's called a beta cell of the pancreas. The beta cells will store insulin. And when you eat sugar, insulin gets released to control your blood sugar. But if you haven't slept well enough, when you eat food first thing in the morning, there's no insulin there. And that's called the first phase insulin response. If there's no insulin to be released when you ingest food, then the body has to make it. And while the body's making your insulin, your blood sugar is going up and up and up and up and up. Then it makes it, gradually gets it and brings it back down again. And then we have this seesaw for the whole day. So the exact same breakfast that you had today, John, with good sleep, can be massively different than the reaction you take to food if you had an interrupted sleep with kids waking up. So sleep, in my opinion, if it's an issue, it needs to be addressed first, and it needs to be done consistently for at least 2 weeks and a routine. And one more thing before I move off. This situation of catching up in your sleep the weekend, it does not exist.
Backloading.
It does not exist. If your cells in your liver need to be replenished and rebuilt on a Monday, they're not going to wait and do it on a Sunday. It needs to be done there and then. So this catching up business, no. Yes, you're 21, you're 25, you're 30, you're robust, you're resilient, you're bulletproof. I get that. But when you get to, like me and you, John, we're in our 50s now.
A little bit older.
When you get a little bit older and more mature, I think of it like a car. The more mileage you've accumulated on that car, you need a bit more tweaking, you need a bit more servicing, and you're not able to rebound as much as you are to other things. But yes, you can go to work on 4 hours sleep. Of course you can. Is it optimal? No. And just because you can function on 4 hours sleep doesn't mean you should, you know?
Okay, I'm going to have to take a little break there for a second because I need to remind the students that are watching this. I should have mentioned this at the start. I don't think that I've ever had a chat with Owen where I haven't learned something. So I know half the time, right, I will go away to courses. And thankfully, as you said yourself, the more you're going, the more you're learning and all that sort of stuff. But if they are watching over this, all the information, this is just essentially information, just bleh. So don't be afraid, guys. If Owen's talking about stuff and you're kind of going, what the fuck? This is coming to me. That's why it's been recorded. You can rewatch back over it. It'll give you avenues of further study to go. And then obviously at the end, Owen will tell us a little bit more about where we can find out more information from, because you minefield from it. The next one on was an actual nutrition-based question. It was something that a lot of the people kind of come in from, and you hear it from typical clients as well. If someone is overweight, do they need to starve themselves first or do an extreme kind of transformation or caloric restriction before they can start to build muscle tissue? Or is it okay just to begin the process from whatever point they're starting off at?
Okay, so I have a simple analogy that I use. Imagine you have a car, John, right? And your car wants to get from A to B, right? We know where they are and we know where they want to get to. And normally, if you put X amount of fuel into this car, it will get to the destination. Unfortunately, if you're overweight, if you're vitamin D deficient, if you've got digestive issues, if you're not sleeping, you shouldn't start that car off on the journey. That car needs a little bit of TLC. So by purely not giving somebody calories, they won't necessarily lose weight. So for me, I like to build a better body before I bring them on a very excessive or tough journey. 12-week transformations work really well if you're in a really good condition to start off. But if you're not, and this is the thing, food, and this is simply put for the guys out there, food is broken down into 2 major things. I didn't break them down, this wasn't me. So food's broken down to macronutrients and micronutrients. So when everyone talks about if it fits your macros, we cut your calories down, we cut your carbs down, we bring your protein here, whatever it is. Yes, I get that. But hang on a second. You're missing 50% of the actual food. So micronutrients, your vitamins, your minerals, your cofactors, your coenzymes, the nutrients for your hormones are needed. So every diet that is deficient in calories is deficient in micronutrients. So sometimes when a woman comes into you and she's twitching, or she's got spasms, or her skin is dry, or she's not going to the bathroom, or she's getting headaches, and every single woman that comes to see me in the clinic, they're anemic. So if you start to journey off on a car that is smoking, or there's no air in the tires, you're not going to get very far. And then what happens is you cut the calories even lower, or you push your clients even harder. So in my opinion, there should really be about a month of getting good solid nutrition in, getting good solid sleep routines in, getting good solid exercise technique in. And on that matter, as I said, I'm not a huge fan of cardio training, because it doesn't necessarily tick the same boxes as interval training, HIIT training, and weight training. However, when someone comes into you that's overweight, that person metabolically is unable to burn fat correctly. So sometimes when a client comes into you that's overweight, their fat burning capabilities are lowered. So an example for you, John, let's say me and you said we're going to go out, the COVID-19 thing is over, we're going to go for a beer. If we went for a beer and we hadn't been drinking, we'd be pissed on 2 points, knock us out. However, if we had a few drinks on one night and then we went out the next night, we'd be able to handle much more. And the reason being is our body upregulates enzymes to help us detoxify alcohol. The same thing can happen with hormone-sensitive lipase. Enzymes that help you burn fat sometimes are super low. And if someone's overweight and they've got a lot of fat in their body, you know what? They're inefficient at burning fat. So maybe doing a bit of cardio in conjunction to fixing their sleep, in conjunction to getting their knees a bit stronger, in conjunction with improving their exercise technique, 1 month doing that, the person at the end of that month will know what to do, will be sleeping right, will be digesting food better, and then you can kill them, by all means. But killing that person from day one is an incorrect and a too extreme of an intervention, I believe. And I've seen it.
Well, that's a brilliant, super answer, because we would have done that years ago. Again, like I said, when I was younger and dumber, and I'm kind of always saying that to the students, please, the shit that I did with people at the start, like, do not do that. It's not the best interest of their overall health. You said something there as well, and I know this is something that drives you mad, but we're two of the most anti-social social media people. HIIT training on. I thought I could just do HIIT training just in my own house, just doing a bit of abs and burpees, no?
You're poking me there, John. So this is the thing. So I'm a pretty open-minded guy. I'm very flexible when it comes to stuff. But don't use the language if you don't understand the language. High-intensity interval training means high intensity. It doesn't mean high-density training. Density and intensity are two very different systems. So when you do Tabata, 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off, it is not HIIT training. It is interval training. High intensity interval training is something that you don't do explosively with a lot of weight, with a lot of necessary, like a max effort with a lot of rest. Max effort, a lot of rest. Stuff that's done, that's pretty hard, and then you short rest and then go again. That's interval training, but it's more dense. You're getting more work done in a shorter period of time. So the application of HIIT training, I think it's just a misunderstanding of the word. But I didn't come up with the words. I didn't come up with reps and sets either. Yeah. Louis Simmons has a great quote. He says, "I didn't invent toilet paper, but I'm still smart enough to use it." So I didn't invent HIIT training, didn't invent interval training, but I'm clever enough to use it. But you have to know when to use it and what to use it for. And in my opinion, the majority of beginner people aren't conditioned enough. And this is the thing, if you implement exercise prescription that's too advanced for somebody, the risk of injury goes up and the benefit goes down. So I see people, and I've had lots of clients come to see me and go, "Oh, I did this boot camp class, or did this semi-private class, and I'm jumping up in a box." I wouldn't recommend the majority of people that I know to be jumping on boxes. Their knees hit together, they lean forward, they nearly take their shin off themselves. Plyometric jumping for a fat loss client, come on. It makes no sense. The application and the prescription of the program isn't suitable for the clientele and for the goal, and the risk to reward ratio is too great for me.
Yeah, no, perfect. That's one of the ones I always say to the students, just wrecks my head. You see, I did this great HIIT workout. And I'm like, did you? Yeah. And then we obviously bring some of the students, if they're watching this will probably have like post-traumatic stress memories for them. I bring them up and just batter them on the sprint dead mill. But like, you'll know a HIIT workout, I tell them, because you'll get a couple of rounds. They look at it on the board and they go, "Well, geez, when you're doing 6 rounds, 20 seconds on, minute 40 off, that seems easy enough." I'm like, "Does it? Yeah." Come on, follow me. It'll be grand. And then leads to the old projectile vomiting.
And this is the thing, like, again, I'm going to plug my own stuff, but I did a course online for interval training. And one of the things that I try to get across to people, so let's say, for example, John, you get on an assault bike, right? And I say to you, you're going to go over 10 seconds of work and I'm going to give you 110 seconds off. That's a 1 to 11 work to rest ratio, right? However, this is the crucial part when it comes to interval training, or any training in that matter. I need to personalize the intensity indicator. So let's say, John, you're 80 kilos and you get an assault bike. A minimum wattage you should be able to get should be in excess of 900 watts. You should be able to smash that. Yeah. So I'm not starting my stopwatch for 10 seconds until you get to 900 watts. Because then it's like, oh, hang on a second, 5 seconds up, 2 seconds there, 4 seconds. No, that's not the way it works. Now, you get an assault bike for 10 seconds and 900 watts, and you repeat that 4 or 5 times, let's say 6 times. That will take 12 minutes to do because it's going to be 10 and 10 seconds off. That's only 60 seconds of work in a 12-minute interval, and that will end your life.
Oh, yeah, it's you're looking for a way out.
Yeah, you're dead. You're going, oh, it's broken, oh, it's broken. But this is the thing, and with that application, so that's why when time, like I can do that for 10 seconds. That doesn't mean it's anaerobic training, I can do, lots of things for 5 seconds.
Other stuff. Who have you been speaking to? That's what I'm saying. Usain Bolt finishes in under 10 seconds, he gets a fucking medal.
Yeah.
The next one was, actually, no, next one, right, is probably similar enough opinion on this one. It was actually from 2 people, which is interesting. They don't know each other. It was on the concept and the topic of drugs in the industry, and it is coming in from a young lad.
Drugs as in party drugs, or drugs as in...
Drugs as in performance enhancing, enhancing.
Okay.
His question was, he was starting to develop a good enough client base, and he was getting a huge amount of inquiries from young lads, okay? So like late teens, early 20s. They're only training a couple of weeks and they're just mad to be like, oh, well, like, do I have to do this, or should I go on drugs and stuff like that? No, I've always been similar enough for yourself saying, no, like, it's not, unless you're working with unless you want to go down, say, maybe the bodybuilding route, and you're working with an actual doctor who knows what he's doing. But apart from that, like, it's just disaster. Would you be able to just kind of, even 2 or 3 reasons why it is a terrible idea for a young guy who has 0 training underneath his belt to even just be like, go to a quick fix solution for drugs?
Right, so this is the thing. I'm dealing with a lot of guys on the downward spiral from taking steroids. And I remember these 2 guys came to see me, 2 friends, and they'd done 5 or 6 shows, bodybuilding shows. And now 2 of them were in the toilet. They were flat, libido was low, they were adrenally fatigued, they were smashed out of it. And I said to them, I think your adrenals are compromised. And both of them were trainers, they both owned their own gym. They went, my what? Your adrenals are shot. My what? So they knew all about DECA, and they knew all about testosterone and clenbuterol and all these things. They didn't even know what their adrenals were. So the fact of the matter is, I've never taken a steroid in my life, hands up, never taken it. But I feel it's more and more obtainable now. So it's in most gyms you can go to, there's someone in there you could probably ask about getting some steroids. Now, don't get me wrong, steroids can be used in a very safe manner, but the majority of people taking steroids aren't taking them in a safe and controlled manner. Yeah. For me, I would definitely, and I see it, I have some patients, older patients, 50, 60 plus, that are on hormone replacement therapy. But the sooner you start off of taking steroids, the sooner you're going to be on it for the rest of your life. Like, you down-regulate your own testosterone production. Now, this is the thing, John, like, if you're 20 or 30, you shouldn't need to go near any of that stuff whatsoever.
Yeah.
And the problem is, I see this, Big John gets big, and he's jacked out of it and he's training really hard. Then all of a sudden he stops doing a cycle and he comes down again, he deflates, and then he goes, oh Jesus, I'm known for being Big John. I need to get up, and this cycle. And mental health and issues, it's just in hand. There's no real benefit. And for athletes, I understand why athletes do it, because it's their job, and I don't agree with it, but I understand the rationale behind it. But if you're Joe Soap and all you want to do is fill your short sleeve, or want to look jacked on Love Island, come on, But look, I get where people are coming from, but you can achieve very good results, exceptional results that will last for you for life if you train hard. It's not a lot. Like, you train 5 days a week, you lift hard, you get a coach, you get someone that's qualified in nutrition to help you out. You can get phenomenal results, and you'll get bigger gradually over a longer period of time, but you'll stay big. Yeah. You'll stay big. And one of the things, I seen a video of Charles Poliquin teaching a seminar, and I found a picture in my phone of one of the 4 seminars that I've ever seen. I was there with him teaching, and I was, what was I, 21? I was 96 kilos when I was 21. So I've been training. I've been 96 to 100 for 20 odd years, because I started lifting weights at a very young age, and it's just been the main staple of my life. That's what I've always done. That's how I clear my head. I go and lift weights. But you see some guys that get big soon and then they drop down, and then that's a problem, you know, hormonally, metabolically, structurally for your body, you know, major issues. And then there's kids down the line, like from a testosterone and sperm production point of view, it's detrimental. You can get around it, but it's not advisable.
Yeah, and I think the lads probably don't think about that when they're in their 17, 18, 19. Like, having a family down the line is probably the last thing in your mind. So it's just good to make them aware, like, no, look, this could potentially have dire physical consequences. Yeah, but like this I chatted to a friend of mine recently. I haven't seen him in a very long time, and he was like, "Oh, I'm thinking of going to this concert." This is maybe 2 years ago now. It's called Tomorrowland. You know about it? I'm not in that scene. I'm not hip or cool. Like, yeah, I'm not. It's like a rave over. I don't know where exactly it is, but there was guys on his job, training in the gym, doing cycles to get ready to take a top off at a concert. Like, I'm going, what? All right. Not even a show, just to get in shape to go to this concert. I'm like going, it's a different world, John. It's just a different world. Yeah, we missed all that. The next one as well. This came in from 1 or 2 students, but it's actually my own one as well. Like, sometimes, like, I'm moderately busy and moderately productive, but sometimes when I look at some of the shit that you're doing, even we were talking a couple of weeks ago, I look at all the stuff you're doing and I feel lazy, right? How do you maintain focus and discipline consistently? Because I'd argue, and you probably disagree, but I'd say you've been on the top of your game for probably as long as I've known you. How do you keep that? Like, do you have any tips or behaviors to help, or differentiation between motivation and just sometimes being fucking disciplined? Because if we only did things when we were motivated, things might not get done. But any tips at all, I suppose? There's a great book called The Myth of Motivation. And in the book, he says, "Fuck the fire walk." So I like that. I just finished a book from Anthony Robbins. I actually have this diary here. I haven't had it in a while. The focus planner. They sent me 4 of them as an apology because they threw me off the whack. But all these books, all these seminars, all these things you go to, they'll inspire you. They'll motivate you, but they don't make you action it. You need to action it. So, for example, if you get into my car and my radio does not come on, it goes straight to my Audible account and I listen. So I might drive 20, 30 minutes to Malahide every day, but I listen to a book times 3. So I'm getting an hour on the way to work and an hour on the way back every single day. And what I think people need to do like, I'm open enough. Like, you could walk into any of my gym. We could be doing Olympic lifting, bodybuilding, jiu-jitsu, interval training, strongman training. I don't care. And this is the thing. I don't care what we do. I care that we look after our clients. And one of the things I don't think trainers are aware of, clients come to the gym. Why do your clients come to the gym? They might come for fun. Wow, imagine exercising for fun. Yeah, it's okay to do that. Maybe they're coming to clear their head. Maybe they're coming to get away from work. Maybe they're coming because it's their sport, like they're an MMA athlete, or they're a football athlete or a soccer athlete. Well, soccer, athlete, I don't know, athlete. Yeah, but we have to know why they're coming. So for me, the reason why I may appear to be constantly studying different things is because I'm constantly trying to develop the business to suit the clientele that are in the gym. But I think one of the habits that needs to happen for a lot of trainers out there is every day get busy getting better. We have it on the gym. So, like, when I was off with this COVID situation, I set up the Eoin Lacey education. That was something that I needed to keep productive. I have not had a job since I was 12 or 13. I've always had something to do. And then I did a lot of marketing certifications. I did digital marketing. I did a YouTube certification. I try to do stuff to bridge the gap, to learn different areas. But for trainers out there, just evolve, but make it a discipline. Like, you brush your teeth. I read a book called Atomic Habits, and one of the things the fella said was, get your toothpaste in the morning and put your vitamins in an elastic band around them. Because we all brush our teeth every morning, but we forget to take our vitamins. So it's called habit stacking. Or maybe you do your mobility and you listen to a podcast. Or maybe when you're driving to work, you listen to a book. Or maybe you say, every month I'm going to go to a live seminar. Or, I don't have time, I've got clients. Well, this is the thing. The industry is very unique. If you're someone that's still doing the same thing you were doing last year, clients see that.
They see the evolution. Hey, you see the evolution of your education. You see the time you're putting into yourself, into equipment. Like I bought this new thing called the Iron Neck. Have you seen it?
No, is it for neck training?
For neck training, it's like a halo goes around your head. It's pretty cool. You have a try of it. And Joe Rogan was chatting about it. They obviously sent him a free one so he could plug it for them. But every time you go to the gym, there'll be something different. There'll be something new in the gym. So I always try to evolve because I love it. It's my job. I love every single bit of it. But for trainers out there, and this is the thing, if you look to the right of you and look to the left of you, there should be people there to help you, support you, and move you forward. If you're a negative person and you're bringing people down, you're not going to gravitate towards it. So again, when we chat all the time, John, we bounce different ideas off different things. When we were over in London at the Brian Moore Sound, I had a great time. We had a great crack, you know.
Great crack.
We're bouncing ideas all the time. Do you know why? Because we love our job. You know, and some people, unfortunately, I remember Conor McGregor said it very cleverly at an interview. He says, I don't hate the fighters I train. If anything, I've got more in common with them because they're fighters. They love their craft too. I love this industry. So when I'm around other people, I'll share and talk and bounce ideas off because I love it. But some people are like, oh no, I do this and you have the secrets, do you? You do the secret program.
You have it all figured out, do you? Fair play.
You have it all figured out, do you? Yeah. But that's not the way it is. So stuff like that, I think we can really learn a lot from other people. But it's surround yourself with like-minded people. Constantly evolve your skill set. I have a friend of mine, he's a sports psychologist, and a few years ago I was training this guy and he said, Owen, was that an excellent session you did with that client? And I went, it was a good session. He said, no, was it an excellent session? I said, it was a good session. He says, was it excellent? So are you striving for excellence? Are you okay coasting? Are you okay turning up, you know, a bit scruffy and clothes dirty and your runner's not clean? Is the gym not the high standard? If me and you, let's say this is over, me and you go for dinner. We have a lovely big dinner and Malahide beef and lobster. You go to the bathroom, the skid marks all over the toilet. That you're not going to be happy. That small little detail. Like in Westwood, people, the two biggest complaints in Westwood when I walked there was the queue for the car park. The queue to get into the car park was the biggest problem. The second one were the showers. So clients can have a very bad experience in your gym, whether it's your email, your text message, how to get into the gym, the car park, the time of the class, the music. So as a coach and as a trainer, and this is the thing about trainers, because I know this industry so well, I'm a trainer, I'm a nutritionist, I'm a therapist, but I'm not, I had to learn to be a businessman.
Yeah.
And I learned that the wrong way, John. I learned that by doing the wrong fucking thing, you know? So it's about the community, the ethos, the customer care, the interaction, and your attention to your clients. And sometimes clients will contact me, oh, can you train me at 5 o'clock in the morning? I have to get a plane to whatever. Yes. But I know you mightn't have someone for a few hours. That's my job. My job as a trainer is to be there to accommodate your time. I can't make it. I can't get other clients in after you. So what?
Yeah.
You know? So I think trainers like this job because it's like, you know, fun and there's, you know, young people in it and, you know, a bit of environment, good bit of crack, and it can be. But you have to invest in it and you have to invest in getting better all the time. And I hear people complaining. Do something different.
Yeah.
Either try to change the environment you're in by upskilling people around you and changing the ethos, or move on. But don't be one of those people that brings other people down. Step up or step off.
Brilliant. Love that. The one of the things, and I'm hoping you have while you were flat out done into all your productive course and stuff, I'm hoping you do have something on functional medicine, because that's one of the ones that a lot of people were asking about in terms of what is functional medicine, where can they go to possibly learn more about it, and how can it benefit their clients?
Okay, so functional medicine, to quote the Institute for Functional Medicine is a patient-centered approach to the management of chronic diseases. Now, I don't deal with clients with diseases. I deal with clients with dysfunctions. Yeah. So the situation would be is, let's say you get a blood test, and let's say we take something like the thyroid. And the number one test you test for thyroid is what's called TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone. It actually isn't a thyroid hormone. It's a pituitary hormone that speaks to the thyroid. And if it has to ask a big question, it's an indication your thyroid isn't responding to the hormone above it. And the range is 0.5 to 5. So it's a massive range. What functional medicine does is it weighs where in that range you are. It identifies dysfunction and then it addresses it. So, for example, you come in, John, and you're not sleeping at night time and you're snoring. A few things that could be snoring. Could be you could have polyps in your nose. It could be caused by food allergies. It could be that your neck is too big. It could be that you're mouth breathing at night time. It could be that your waist is too big and you've got waist-hip ratio and sleep apnea. So there's a multitude of things that can be. All functional medicine is, and functional medicine isn't really a discipline. A functional medicine approach is assessing all that could possibly be going wrong and trying to fix the lowest hanging fruit. So let's say you go to see a chiropractor. And what would you think? And I talked to an osteopath friend of mine recently, and he had a great quote. He said, Owen, if I walk in and I see a therapist working on somebody, the sign of a good therapist is you don't know what their discipline is. Because if you walk into a chiropractor, you might get cracked and you might leave. If a chiropractor is putting needles in you, or you might be doing massage, or you might be doing stretching with you, he's doing whatever you need to get done to fix you. Yeah. He's not forcing his principles on you. So the same way for me, when someone comes into me and they're like, oh, I'm not losing weight, but how are you sleeping? What food are you eating? What's your relationships like? How are you exercising? Are you stressed out all the time? Where are your hormones at? Where are your bloods at? So for me, the Institute for Functional Medicine is by far the leading authority when it comes to functional medicine, but it's designed for doctors. Dr. Brian Walsh, a friend of ours, he has some great content online. He has a level 1, level 2, and level 3. Yeah. I suggest you don't go near them just yet. I honestly, and I said it to him, I'm speaking to him on Friday, I honestly believe they're too much for a lot of trainers. But his detox, his mitochondria, and his glucose courses are by far the best in the industry. And if you want to help clients, glucose management and detoxification, I think, are pivotal, but mitochondria is phenomenal. So I would start off with those. I'll be honest with you, John, I didn't put functional medicine courses on the platform just yet because I want to refine things a bit more and I want to be able to add in some edits and video editing into it. So I haven't done that just yet. And
that was one of the most enjoyable. That was that weekend. I think we did. I don't know how many did that many weekends or when it was, but that was a superbly enjoyable weekend down in Malahide when you do that course.
Yeah, with Dr. Serrano.
Yeah, there was one, but I think you've done your some as well. You've done like functional nutrition courses and bits and pieces. Like you get so much knowledge out of them.
Yeah, and I will do. I'll do a functional medicine approach for fitness professionals. I will do that, and that's in the pipeline. But what I want trainers to be able to see is that when someone walks into you, if all you have is an exercise hammer or a calorie restriction hammer, then everything is going to be a nail. But so many people, like women, are anemic. Like every single woman who comes to me, they're anemic. Now, to make anemia very simple, all anemia is the inability to deliver oxygen to the cell. That's every cell of the body. And the number one symptom of every disease across the world is fatigue. So if your female client comes into you and they're having heavy menstrual cycles, they're not eating red meat, and they're not digesting food right, they're definitely anemic. Definitely. So you cannot get any resolution with energy, well-being, fat loss, cognition, energy, libido. If they're anemic, that needs to be addressed. But if all you do is, no, we're going to cut your calories and your weight should come down, it's not as simple as that. I spoke to on a podcast with a friend recently, and he said, the calorie model. Your cells, right? If me and you were sitting inside one of our cells and food is outside, we don't identify calories. We've never seen calories. We see molecules of protein and amino acids and glucose and disaccharides and monos. We see food. We don't see calories. Calorie is a man-made measurement of energy produced from food to raise the temperature of water by 1 degree Celsius. It's not a human measurement. It's not a biological measurement. It's a human measurement. So for me, 80% of people across the world will lose weight by just cutting calories and doing a bit of exercise. 80%. It's the 20% that come to me and you, John, that haven't got results doing that need more attention. And if all we do is the same thing that they didn't get results from, that's not going to get them any closer.
Brilliant. I'm gonna segue into one of the things I think you said there as well. It was a further on question down. It was actually from Michelle about can you talk a little bit about the clinic, about why testing is so important? What are the best value or most important tests to possibly start with? And then she asked another one there as well, but I'll leave it because she wanted to know like the 3 most common deficiencies that you would tend to see in clients.
Okay, so answer number 1, in the clinic, what I do in the clinic is I used to do a lot of my nutrition consultations in the gym, but I found more and more clientele that were coming to see me are not gym people and they want privacy. So I set the clinic up because it's away from the gym. There's nothing gym related in it. We can talk privately. We can do a physical assessment properly and we can measure them and so on. The reason why I feel that it's the limiting factor, when somebody comes to see me, they've exercised and they've worked in the nutrition, they need more attention to detail. The best test you can get done, the best and most scientifically validated test is a blood test. It's a comprehensive blood chemistry. And you've heard Brian Walsh say that. Yeah. And in that, it's like I bought my wife a car a few years ago. And I had a friend of mine, Adam's brother-in-law. He came and he was going to do a check on it to see if it was worth buying. So he takes out his laptop and he sticks a USB into the dashboard. I'm like going, what the you're not getting underneath the hook. He says, no, on. This is the way it's done now. We run a diagnostics on every single mechanism in the whole engine. Well, that's what a blood test is. A blood test will tell me your cholesterol level, your liver filtration rate. It will tell me your sodium potassium levels. It will tell me how well your hemoglobin is made, what size your hemoglobin, how do you get rid of waste products, how much muscle mass you're breaking down, how much bile acids you're making, how efficient you are at hydrating yourself. And when I start to see those big factors, but then I can definitely go down a different line. Now, the issue is in lab values, here's the range. Here you're sick, and here you're sick. But if you're in that range there, you've no disease. I don't want to be walking around with no disease. I want to have health. I want to have more, energy and optimal well-being. And being in that range isn't good enough. So for me, the top test would be a blood test. Now, that might be enough, or it might indicate to address thyroid, to address the adrenals, to look at estrogen or so on. The top deficiencies that I see is I see B12 problems, I see vitamin D problems, and I see magnesium problems. Really common, but anemia in women is a huge problem. If you're not sleeping, and the problem when it comes to anemia can be from iron, it can be from B12 and a lot of different variations. But a lot of women don't eat red meat, and iron from vegetables is not as absorbable as iron from meat. So they're not only having that, but then they have the loss of menstrual cycle every single month, which is another loss. Then if you run, which is something that was new to me when I heard it, when you run, every time your heel hits the ground when you're running outside, you damage thousands of hemoglobin. So the more you run, the more breakdown and destruction of hemoglobin that you make. So if you're already anemic and you're doing a lot of running, first of all, you're going to be wreck tired. You're not going to lose weight from it. And you're actually getting rid of more hemoglobin, which is, you need that for optimal health and well-being.
That's mad. I didn't know that. See, again, just constantly learning.
I make it all up, John.
I love doing that. I love doing that sometimes with students. I'll just try out something absolutely random and wait to see does someone call me on the bullshit. And then when they don't, I'm like, guys, I've completely made that up. Please, you got to question me more often. You spoke recently as well about bioelectrical impedance scale. Go on.
No, go. You want?
I was going to say, you spoke recently about bioelectrical impedance scales having a role to play in terms of tracking progress. Particularly with they're asking about the social distancing thing now. Are you going to get back to the caliper testing, or is that something you'll go down?
So I remember you asked. So the BIA machines are good. I'll be honest, they are pretty good. I bought a machine called a BIS machine. The science is much more validated on BIS than it is in BIA. However, with the distancing, I think the BIA machines will become more common. There's actually machines now you've seen in the 3D scanners. They scan your dimensions. I think they're going to be, more common coming now as well. I use a few scales. I like calipers because it allows me to assess people's skin and tissue tension and edema and hair growth and hair loss. But for the standard trainers, BIA machines are very effective. They can also tell you a little bit about what's called your Q angle, your phase angle. It can also tell you a little bit about hydration status, intracellular fluid, extracellular fluid. It can tell you a lot of stuff. A few years ago, I did a course on medical bioelectrical impedance analysis, and you can get a lot from it. Just taking body fat, it's not as accurate as the DEXA scan, but there's a lot of other markers, particularly the phase angle. The phase angle, for those guys that don't know that, the phase angle is how much electricity needs to be pushed through the cell to break the cell membrane. And if that's really rigid or really loose, there's fluidity issues when it comes to cell communication. And then if you've got imbalance between extracellular fluid and intracellular fluid, well, then you have poor, what's called cellular respiration. They can't speak well to one another. So I think BIA machines, if used correctly, the right time of the day, the right fluid, and the right procedures can be very accurate. And with more social distancing and remote coaching, you can do that. There's a cheap one called a Fit Track. I've seen it. It's pretty decent, actually. It's cheap, about €50.
Okay, that's brilliant. just one or two more ones here, because I know you keep you on track. The role of HRV tracking and the benefits for general population.
So HRV track, for guys out there that don't know that, HRV tracking is what's called heart rate variability. And the heart rate is controlled by your central nervous system. And your central nervous system has different branches, but the major two branches is what's called the autonomic nervous system. You have sympathetic and parasympathetic. And sympathetic is go, 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 go. Sympathetic is more relaxed. And when you check someone's HRV, everyone focuses on their heart rate. It has nothing really got to do with your heart rate number. It's got to do with the electrical current between these two guys. The sympathetic activation and the parasympathetic activation. And the more your heart rate is the same, like bum, 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 the same, like monotone, it's the same distance all the time, that means you're sympathetic dominant. The more variability, the more erratic your heart rate is, not the heart rate, the number, but the actual beat itself, is the more parasympathetic dominant you are. So you can tell by someone's HRV how resilient they are. But resilience is a very unique thing. So let's say I punch you, John, or I insult you, or I infect you, or I slag somebody. The body responds the same way from a hormonal point of view and from a chemical point of view. So if someone's HRV is off, it could be anything. It could be poor sleep, eating an allergen food, train too hard, dehydrated. So there's a multitude of factors of what can be the cause, but it is a good measurement tool. I use a Whoop app at the moment, which checks my HRV, and I can see my client's HRV with it. You have to look at the trends. You can never look at one measurement in singularity. It needs to be a trend over a multitude of days and weeks. And then you assess what went on during those, what's called allostatic load, how much stress that person had, to find out what caused it to be up or down. But it is a great tool. Aura Ring, there's a Aura Ring which can be used. Elite HRV has a free app. You can use any heart rate monitor with it. There's a few of them out there, but it is a great tool to implement in your practice, particularly if you're remote coaching. I think it would be very beneficial from that point of view. But never take one reading as gospel. Look at the trends and look what happened around the fluctuations up and down.
Brilliant. And then the last, I suppose, kind of one is, if you know what you know now, right, with the wealth of knowledge and experience you have, if you could chat to yourself from 1996, a young, fresh-faced Eoin Lacey starting off, what sort of 2 or 3 bits of advice would you give to that guy who's just getting started in the industry?
Don't open so many gyms. No, I this is the thing, John. I shit you not. I don't mean to slag people off to have big gym chains and loads of gyms. I don't need as many gyms as I have. All I need is and this is the thing, John. I spent. I'm not for the taxman's not listening, but when I was working for Charles, I was actually the money I was getting. I just didn't take it. I just sent it to Alico.
Zooming past you to go to the gym.
Literally, it didn't actually come into my account. It went straight to Atlantis and then straight to Alico. The first year me and John opened, we had 20 Alico bars. Alico bars are €1,000 bar. And that's not even the
guys who don't know, they're the Ferrari of gym equipment.
But I had no clients, John. So I'm building this gym with all this expensive equipment and I have no clients. So for me, I'd go back, and I think the biggest thing I did in my career is surrounding myself with educated people and progressive people. That's one thing I think I tell my younger self. Keep surrounding yourself with positive people. Have a growth mindset, realize what you know and what you don't know. If you need to learn something, reach out to people or get them in your network. Don't focus on taking over the world. I got offered a few jobs in my career all over the place, and I've always decided to stay in Ireland, because not that you can be a big fish in a small pond, but you can help people around you and help other trainers and other facilities. And I'm not in competition with anybody. You're not in competition with anybody. There's enough business for everybody. We all do different things. But my brother slags me off all the time. He says, Owen, you can summarize your job in 2 sentences. Don't eat bread, do 12 reps. I'd like to think my job is a bit more important than that. But I think, building your craft. And that's why I went back to college to study physical therapy, because I hurt my back and I realized that I might be able to do as much fitness stuff if I hurt myself. So that's why I went down the rehab point of view. But the nutrition, everybody eats. Not everybody trains. Only 7% of the population are members of gyms. But a lot of people participate in exercise, and nutrition can help people. So to tell my younger self, surround myself with positive people and constantly study. Don't focus on materialistic things or getting big gyms and getting chains of gyms and having gyms here and there. Focus on one location, make it a center of excellence. Everyone that comes to the gym, and I hand on heart would say it. Every trainer I've ever dealt with, any client I've ever dealt with, I'd like to think they have a nice, positive experience with me. But I see other trainers that don't do that. And I think that's not good. I think you need to you conduct yourself like you're dealing with on a professional level all the time. So stay professional, stay motivated, educate yourself, focus mainly on less is more, in my opinion. You don't need to have 10 restaurants rather than have one restaurant that's excellent at what they do. And that should be enough, you know?
Brilliant. And
What
then
would you what would you do? What would you say to your younger John?
Oh God, I'd say again, I'd probably focus on, not to sound cynical, the business side of things. Now, I'm happy with the way I did it. Like, we invested heavily in like becoming better trainers, becoming smarter, upskilling myself in education. Like, I even remember those seminars yourself and John used to give out, the free talk, remember in our team, attending them, and just like they were superb. But it was the same. I was kind of felt like that I was better than a lot of the trainers who were in the area, but we no fucking clients because we didn't know how to actually generate money. You know, it's one of the things, I don't know what the PT course that you did back in the day, but the one we did was fine, but the problem was there was no business. I thought I was going to walk out. I thought it was going to be like fucking a stripper, people just throwing 50s at me for PT, but I didn't know how to generate business for myself. I didn't know how to market and all this sort of stuff. So if I was chatting to myself, I'd say, look, just learn that side of it as well if you want to be successful.
Yeah.
I suppose the other side of things as well is patience was another one. Like, I had this thing because I was coming from a competitive athletics background. I was extremely competitive when I was younger, so I had to be the best. And I'm maybe if you did this as well, when I initially qualified, like, you have to remember, I knew nothing. Like, I know now that I knew nothing, but I thought I was the best trainer. I was like, oh Jesus, right, I'd be the best at this, and like an ego complex. And then I went through that 2-year phase, that imposter syndrome, where like I went to a couple of hours, I was like, oh no, I don't fucking nothing. You're talking shit here. So just, I said to myself, look, be patient. This is not, it's not like you need to be the best right now. Just accept where you are, accept that other people are doing this longer. You will get there eventually with the right work ethic, perseverance and patience. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I wasn't expecting that to be flipped back on me, dude.
No, but I think it's important because people can really value from your experience. And for me, because when I came in contact with you, you were yourself and you were traveling all over the place, studying from loads of different people. But I don't see that anymore, John. I don't see people investing in their education. And those courses you went to all over the place, you learn from the people in the course when you're having lunches and dinners and training sessions. I think it models you. And the problem is, if you want to be an electrician or a plumber, you do an apprenticeship. You're around people that are qualified and they help you, they mentor you, they educate, they slag you off. Sometimes that's okay too. That's part of the job. But as a trainer, you go do a personal training course and then you're dumped out to fend for yourself, to grow your own business, where there's not a personal training team that I know of. There's facilities, but sometimes they're focused on themselves. So I would say to people, if you want to be a trainer, the first thing, if my son came to me and said, oh, Dad, I want to be a trainer, I'd say, go and shadow a busy trainer that you want to be like for a week. Then come back and tell me if you want to do a course. And look at what they have to do and their schedule and their training and their study and their environment. And then tell me. Don't go do a fitness course and then say, get into it and say, oh, this wasn't what I thought it was going to be. That's your naivety that you haven't done that. And by doing that, you build a connection. You build a network. Like, let's say I want to be a trainer. I go train with you. I build that rapport with you. And maybe when I come back to maybe a possibility of maybe shadowing you once a week. But now there's gyms out there like Fly Fit, and this is the thing, John. It's trendy to go to the gym now. When we were younger, it wasn't trendy. But there's a lot of people in gyms now, they don't get that support. They don't, like, oh, clean the gym or supervise the gym, and you can PT here. Well, that's not breeding an excellent service. That's not breeding, a professional standard of trainer. Who's coming in and saying, that's the course you did last time, and you're a low back guy and you're an Olympic lifting guy and you want a bodybuilding guy. You want a team, you want an environment, you surround yourself. You don't be left on your own, because what will happen is the turnover will be too high and you'll move on,
Yeah, absolutely. So I know you've probably got a client now coming up. Just quickly, where can, I'm going to put, well, I know where, ownlacyeducation.com, but where can the guys go to learn more about you? What are the courses they can do? I'll put links, all the stuff you want to send me, I'll put all the links in when I'm emailing this out to them, so they can kind of just click direct. But what I suppose do you have for the guys?
So what I say is, Any of the guys that don't want to listen to this, you can turn this off now. So I set up a website during this situation. It's called eoinlacyeducation.com. And what I did was I tried to, all the questions I get from coaches and trainers, and I do a lot of mentoring online, and I'll be doing these presentations and sharing with trainers online, and they're like going, oh, can you send me the recording? So I just put the courses online, so you don't have to travel. You can study at your own pace, and the information is there to re-watch as many times as you want. So I have a few online now. I have one on advanced interval training, which again, there's a lot of content in there. If you're designing programs, you're remote coaching, it's ideal. I have one on sleep medicine, so how to assess your own sleep for your clients, for yourself. And then there's the long presentation afterwards, the 90-minute presentation included. Then I have one on program design. And what I did was I refused to talk about the standard program design stuff. I'm not going to talk about reps. I'm not going to talk about sets. I'm going to talk about all the stuff that nobody talks about. I'm going to talk about the periodization model. I'm going to talk about the integration of energy systems, repetition, exercise order, exercise sequence, range of motion, muscle activation, strength curves, concentric dominant movements, eccentric dominant movements, training parameters. And then the last one I just finished recently is on how to master semi-private and group training. Because, John, I started off in this industry teaching groups and teaching teams and rugby teams and football teams. Then I went into one-to-one, and then now I do a mix of both. But a lot of trainers don't do exercise to music. And I'm not saying they have to, but one-to-one coaching and training 6 people or 10 people or 15 people is a different world.
Yeah.
And I don't think people have the templates to do that. How they, like, I see, and I was away in Saudi Arabia recently doing a staff training for these guys, and the manager said, oh, you wouldn't mind assessing all the boot camp class that we have for the whole week you're here. So I said, no problem. So at the end of every seminar, I'd sit outside and I'd watch them set up the gym. And at the end of what I wanted to make it a learning experience for everyone. So at the end of the start of every following day, I gave the feedback to the trainer and then let the whole group contribute as well. But one of the things that a lot of coaches do, there's 15 exercises. You've got 45 minutes, you've got 15 exercises. How do you coach 15 exercises with newbies here, advanced people here, immobile people here, so you need to meet people where they're at. And the semi-private training model has grown substantially over the last 5 years in Ireland. And I think it's great because it makes coaching more affordable for people. People can get more sessions in during the week, and they can get much better results if the coach is professional, if the coach employs the same principles. The principles of training are the principles of training. It's not the principles of one-to-one training and the principles of 1-10 training. It's the same principles. But what people feel to do is get in the gym, get sweaty, get out. That's not, like, I can get sweaty anywhere. Why do I have to get in the gym to do that? There needs to be a periodized program bespoke to your client's needs. And if you, I'm really proud of the course, I'll be honest with you. And I include a lot of extra content in. I actually include the interval training course in that one because I talk about it and I don't give it enough time, so I include it in it. But if you want to master semi-private training, it happens from every message, every phone call, every text message, the music in the gym, your language, your clothes, your atmosphere, your coaching. I have some coaches that they start off 100 miles an hour. No, warm them up. And the warm-up has to be specific to what you're training with, So I think with that course, I'm very proud of it because I think it's an industry that it needs to step up. And I see people like yourself and I see other coaches that do the job exceptionally well. And then I see other people going, like even boxing gloves. Adding in boxing with group fitness class is a great way of getting people sweaty and going. But has everyone been shown a technique? Are they wearing the same gloves? Are they, am I putting those on? Is she not paying attention when I hit them? So all these areas, no, don't get me wrong, you can do that. But it needs to be programmed and placed correctly in the system and devised by a professional coach, looking to get better and to grow and grow and grow,
Well, guys, look, I've done, like I said, I think I've done nearly everything that Owen has produced over the last God knows how many years. So I can't, and the value on it as well, I hope you don't mind me saying this, I think you're underselling it. The value on them is absolutely superb. Considering how much, like I said, time has gone into them, how much knowledge and experience is in them. It's a bargain for the people looking to invest into them.
Well, what I've done is, as I wrote on the board here, so JC25. So anyone that wants any course on the website in any way, shape, I was going to slag you off.
I'm coming a fucking Instagram hunt here. JC25 for 25% off, guys.
So any course, whether it be a book that's €20 or a course that's €300. So JC25, all caps, and they get 25% off any course they want, and that'll end this Saturday. So if anyone wants something out there, or if they have questions, and if we haven't answered everyone's questions, send them on to me, John. I'll do a quick video of any of the questions that I haven't answered, and I'll send it on. You can share it out to the students. But to the guys out there, welcome to the industry. You know, this is a great job. But lean on each other, reach out, and this is the thing, they've gone through your course, John, so they can reach back and contact with people. Yeah. But don't just fade into the mist. Just because it gets hard doesn't mean you don't move, you don't stay with it. Try to associate yourself with other trainers in the industry. Reach out if you need a hand. If you ever want to pop, when things are over, pop up to the gym, train in any of the ISIs, go for coffee, talk about stuff. The door's always open for anybody. Not you, John, but everybody else.
Anyone else, other people. Owen, you're an absolute legend. Thank you so much for your time. Massively appreciate that. And I know the guys are going to get a huge, huge benefit from it.
All right, John, no problem at all. You take care and talk to you soon.
Chat to you later.